Hello to all my friends out there. I want to talk to you about something. No door. So what I want to talk to you guys about is particulate matter. So what happens, now we come out here into the food court. What happens is particles can travel in the air, and some people go, wow, coughing is dangerous. Well, particulate matter is very dangerous too. And so this is part of the Wuhan virus. Is most likely it's being carried in the air via common vents, but also just, not watching what you're doing. I'm walking 2 hours a day, you guys. Hi. So, one good thing is to say, okay, how could this particulate matter travel and sicken me, kill me? How could this happen? Well, what could happen is it could come through common vents, but it could also come from restrooms. So what you want to do is you want to keep your bathroom door closed, especially if there's sickness or vomiting. Public restrooms are the worst. And wash your hands a lot. They talk about that one. So, we have to be very careful, especially here in San Diego, unless, you're suicidal. And I wanted to mention a couple other things. Okay, as you get older, you have to exercise and you have to reduce the quantity of food you're consuming so that you're not consuming calories in excess to what you're burning. And there's been some correlation between Alzheimer's and lack of exercise. That's what's so brutally bad about nursing homes. They just lay there in bed. And then I wanted to mention something else. In the Asian countries, I can't remember which one, they're trying to reduce the amount of food wastage. And this reminded me of something when I went to the food bank, a couple things. Okay, if you get a large amount of fresh food, some of it can go bad before you can eat it. So what you want to do is you want to either can it or dehydrate it. You don't need any special equipment for dehydration. You can dehydrate it in your oven or in a toaster oven, or you can just put it on a butane barbecue and close the lid. So, your food doesn't go bad, and a lot of people are going hungry unnecessarily because in grocery stores, they always close out the produce pretty much. They have to. You notice I got 2 nice salads in the food pantry. Another thing, here's another restroom. Does this one have any doors? And I don't know who the genius type people. Anyway, I would hate it if I was a vendor near these. I wouldn't be a vendor near these restrooms. Anyway, so you want to dehydrate your food. Canning is a little labor intensive, and it creates a lot of bulky glass jars. And when you think about it, think about how much food you could pack dehydrated in a nice big box. And so what's so good about it is you can make a little rice or a little potatoes or sweet potatoes. You can make a little, you can rehydrate the vegetables and add it to your rice, or you can add some on top, and then some kind of meat is going to give you a pretty nutritious meal. What I've been doing is making small meals. Last night I still had hamburger left, so I had those little rolls, and I made 2 hamburgers, and I had some top ramen, and so I'm going to be making some more top ramen stuff, and I could throw a little handful of those dehydrated vegetables in my soups. So I was talking to this lady I knew, and I said, a lot of times we eat the whole potato or the whole fruit when we really don't need that much. And last night, I dehydrated a lot of apples, and I could put those in my, some bread, some apple bread, or I could put those in oatmeal, or I could use them like raisins, on my pancakes with seeds and dry apples, or I could eat them, a little handful. But another thing would be that dehydrated food would be good for your pets. I mean, not wasting it if you're poor, but if you do have pets, a little handful of dehydrated vegetables would probably be good for them. And then, another thing, I dehydrated the food because it dehydrates faster when it was in small pieces. And so yesterday I was able to chop that food up and dehydrate a massive amount of food very quickly. And so when my ex-husband died, the minister said he will speak to you through your memories. And so I was thinking about my dehydrated food and all those little pieces and all those little bags, and the thought popped into my mind of when I went to the Adventist church, and they would serve lunch after church, and there was always a lot of people and not enough food. So the ladies would go into the kitchen and pray for help, and there would always be enough food. So they would have big pots of chicken curry, sometimes just vegetable curry. So these dehydrated vegetables would be good for that. And when Jesus multiplied the food, he didn't take the 5 fish and the small loaves and hand them to 6 people and everyone else went hungry. No, he tore them in small pieces. So I'm on to this something with these small pieces. And so last night I cut the chicken up and I made, I think it was 38 chicken nuggets, which is going to go a lot further than 2 chicken breasts. So you want to be thinking about that. But what I think I see is a trend of less cans. And what that means is not easy to store food. But if you learn the dehydration, then you're going to be able to preserve your food and you're not going to run out and your food's not going to be contaminated. I'm going to be investing in better Ziploc baggies. And also, if any of you have tips on the dehydrating of the potatoes, if you would let me know. Mine turned dark. I think there's something I should have done. But I want to mention to you guys, if you're new, the best way to learn this is just start doing it. And that's what I'm doing. And I will be preparing a bowl of food because, it's in my best interest not to eat so much and to exercise more. I was watching longevity videos, and a 50-year-old doctor had the biochemistry of a 58-year-old man, and by doing simple things was able to come back a couple years later with the biochemistry of someone in the early 30s, just by dropping the consumption of food, and that makes sense to me. So I want to encourage you guys to walk. I want to encourage you guys to try to dehydrate or can food if you prefer. But some people are really not up to canning. That's a lot of hard work. But the dehydration could be done a few fruits at a time. You don't have to, dehydrate so much. And looking forward to your comments. They've been really, really helpful. And this was really, really nice. A few of the comments. Oh, look at, no wonder people get sucked into Victoria's Secret. Look how pretty. Anyway, so I'll be making, these bowls of food. Going back to the bowls for a little while. And I wanted to mention something to you guys. When I first found out my income had been reduced by $125, I went out. I didn't spend much money, but I bought a massive amount of food that was very, very cheap. I tried to buy 50-cent food. 2 days ago, I went looking, and in one of the stores, I'm not kidding you, I couldn't find one package of anything for less than 65 cents. So you might be saying, okay, you went from 50 cents to 65 cents, and I messed this up in the video. But that's 15 cents. On $1, that's $1.30. And on $1, that's an increase of 30%. And this is only the beginning. They say we might be, well, it was predicted that the oil was going to go up. But what I heard is the transporters of oil from China can't get their stuff into the ports because of the coronavirus. And they transport 20% of the crude oil. So I'd be expecting an increase in gasoline. And I watched this video, and it was a good video. It was on, how to get ahead, whatever. But he said buy your groceries and fill your tank up with gas and save a little money when you first get paid. And I thought that was good advice. So at this point now, not only did I have a stockpile, but I bought a massive amount of really cheap food. And if you don't have much money, do not reject cheap food. If you have lunch meat and cheese, you can make a nice big salad. You can put the salad in a bowl and put cheese a lot on the top and put lunch meat with salad dressing, and you can get by just fine on that for a nice little meal. And so why I think the bowl thing, see, I'm walking around like a rat on a wheel. I'm going in a circle, you guys. I'm going to the bowl because that way I can control the amounts of food that I'm eating. So if any of you have tips on what to do with my dehydrated potatoes, or if you have any good dehydration tips, we would like to know them. And if you are new, get a notebook and start looking at the comments. Write the recipes. You go, Maya will never eat that. Well, I hope you never have to. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.